Alright guys, I'm here with a bit of information for Dragon Ball Legends. So this is something I've been waiting all night to see. Through all the updates that we've been getting throughout the week concerning patch 4.7.0, this was the one I was the most excited to see because this was supposed to be in the game when a particular unit was introduced a while ago, but was taken out because it wasn't functioning properly. But in this update, and as you guys can clearly see on the screen, Tien, the blue unit that we got alongside the red Buhan, will be getting his Rising Rush counter ability. Now, we already know what this ability does. When the opponent utilizes Rising Rush and there's at least a full team for the opponent, then if you lose your Rising Rush and Tien is not the person being rushed, he will step in and counter the rush, which means that you are guaranteed safety if you take an L on the Rising Rush, again, so long as your opponent's team is completely alive and Tien is not the person being rushed. Now, this is a very, very important ability, right? Because it guarantees safety in a multitude of ways. One, by default, with Tien being a Majin Buu Saga Z unit alongside, you know, like Super Warriors and Blue and all that stuff. But with him being a Majin Buu Saga Z unit, you can pair him with Vegito, Ultra Super Vegito to be specific. I mean, granted, you would throw Ultra Super Vegito into the leader slot anyway, but those two are a part of the same saga. So you could run those two together and not only have the cover, or not cover change, but the Rising Rush counter, but also endurance on your side, which would help you defend against Rising Rush a bit more. And I'm pretty sure there's other units that you can try to tie in with those two respectively, but who knows how that'll function. Well, actually, if you tie them with like a revival unit, that'd be insane too. Like, but all in all though, this ability is going to be heavily prominent. There is no way in the world it can't be. I mean, this Tien unit is, in my opinion, not a bad unit, right? And even at that, he was able to do very well initially whilst being incomplete. So the fact that he will be complete later on tonight during the next reset is going to be amazing to see. And also, I wonder if they're going to be doing this a lot more with units that get introduced into the game in the future, right? Because again, we've been seeing bits and pieces of certain features that were originally exclusive to particular characters and then afterwards get slowly rolled out to other units along the lifespan of the game. Prime example would be the unique gauge. Originally, that was supposed to be a thing just for UI Sign Goku, and then other units got it, like, you know, MUI Goku, Cell, Gogeta, etc., right? And another thing would be like the obscure ability, which was originally supposed to be with Whis, but then afterwards we saw that Buhan has that ability as well. So maybe this can be something that they roll out to other units, because let's be honest, Rising Rush is a powerful mechanic. It is the comeback mechanic, but the fact that you can get more than one in a match is snapped, right? I mean, yes, there are some scenarios where it's like, okay, like you got a double rush, like I get it, but it doesn't change the fact that Rising Rush is an extremely powerful ability. So being able to counter that is actually pretty nice. Now, with that being said, if I'm not mistaken, even though Tien has this ability, which is really, really good, it doesn't kill, if I'm not mistaken. Again, I'm pretty sure that was described on, I forgot if it was like the news section or a tweet or something of the sort, but if I'm not mistaken, this ability doesn't kill. So it's unfortunate, but it also makes sense. Again, you're countering Rising Rush, right? Which is a move that is usually like not able to be countered unless, you know, it's under certain circumstances, like, you know, maybe projectile based special skill or projectile based special move or whatever case may be, right? But apart from certain circumstances, this is a type of tactic or feature that cannot be countered, right? So the fact that you're able to counter it, again, is nice, but if it were to kill, I think that would be extremely overpowered to the point where, in truth, it would be beyond busted and it would make him meta dependent. So I'm actually glad that it doesn't, but I'm still surprised that we actually get to see how this functions in game. And again, like I said, I would honestly love to see more characters get this type of ability. That way it's more strategic, honestly. I mean, most people would just get Rising Rush, and then I mean, apart from, you know, fighting units with endurance or revival or whatever the case may be, they'll just throw out the rush, kill a unit, and then that's kind of the end of that. But again, powerful ability, wipes out a character that could literally make or break an entire battle depending on which character gets rushed, right? So now having a defensive tactic during rush helps out a ton and could change up the game a bit to make it less stagnant, to the point where it's like, okay, well, I swap to this character, I have no way to defend against, you know, this person's onslaught, I expect him to rush whether I take these hits or if I swap into the next character or whatever the case may be. Just adding different tactics is nice and a very welcome feature. The only thing I hope is that in the future, if they do continue to add this feature into, you know, other units that may come into the game, the only thing I hope is that, one, it's only limited once, right? Like, I mean, whether it not, you know, other characters will have it and like each can only use it once is, I guess it's okay, but I don't want it to be to the point where a particular character would be able to utilize that ability more than once. That would be beyond overpowered, right? Because at that point, Rising Rush is useless unless they add very heavy restrictions towards that ability, right? Again, with this Tien, the main thing is, even though he can counter Rising Rush, your opponent's team has to be completely alive, all of them. So, and even at that, it's able to be worked around too, because you would have to either take out Tien, or actually no, that would be the only thing, take out Tien, right? Like either wipe him out early or rush him instead. But again, there might be some workarounds towards that particular restriction. But in a general retrospect, if a lot of units that come into the game in the future end up getting that feature, one, it would definitely suppress people from using, you know, Rising Rush like crazy. And two, then there would be balance to that ability, which would be okay. But again, only time will tell. But all in all though, we are finally getting the full critical suppressive fire ability for Tien in this next update. I think it's going to be a fantastic inclusion because it's a way to fight back against Rising Rush as well. But ultimately though, I do want to know in the comment section below, are you guys excited that Tien is finally going to be complete, as well as being able to counter Rising Rush, even though it doesn't kill, but still being able to counter Rising Rush? Again, let me know in the comment section below. But with that being said, I'm Ndukauba, like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video.